Secretary of Library Committee at Vanita Vishram Women's College of Commerce. I welcome you all to the 17th National Level webinar on role of libraries in holistic development of students on the occasion of National Librarians Day. Librarians Day is celebrated on the birth anniversary of S.R. Ranganathan, a mathematician turned librarian who laid the foundation of library science in our country. Friends, Albert Einstein rightly said, the only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of library. As described by the English author Neil Gaiman, Google can bring you back thousands of answers, but a librarian can bring you back the right one. One such person from library science who has devoted years to develop the skill to navigate us to the right answer is with us today. So I heartily welcome Dr. Bhakti Gala from Central University of Gujarat. Dr. Bhakti is Assistant Professor at the School of Library and Information Science at Central University of Gujarat. Dr. Bhakti has received her Master's from Library and Information Science and PhD degree from the Department of Library and Information Science at the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. Her academic research and volunteer works are interdisciplinary with combination of information science, library science, and computer science. She is the winner of 2014 Association of Information Science and Technology Best International Research Paper Award by Taylor and Francis. And her research work on financial information literacy through public library was shortlisted as finalist 2019 Best Short Research Paper Award at iConference 2019 Washington, D.C. She is currently the chair of the South Asia chapter of Association of Information Science and Technology, USA. She has worked on multiple research projects and her scholarly output has been shared through the national and international journals and conferences. She is passionate about reading and libraries, and her specific research interests are open access resources, information literacy, public library, metadata, digital archives, and digital library. So friends, what is the better way to celebrate Librarians Day than to hear from the person who has devoted her years of her life to understand or to learn library science. So without much ado, I would like to invite Dr. Bhakti Gala for her talk. Dr. Bhakti, you are not audible. You are
okay. Thank you, Neha. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just share my presentation and then we can begin.
Yeah.
Is my presentation now you can see it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to begin by thanking Neha, that you have approached me, for being with you all on such a day. And I would also like to extend my thank to, of course, the authority, that is Dr. Abhilasha Agrawal, I believe the principal of the Vanita Vishram College of Commerce and Business Administration. I'm also very happy that I was able to once again connect with Shivang Bhai, the librarian over there. So it's a pleasure for me to be here today. And I look forward to having an interactive session with you. And I'm also very happy to know that when you told me, that this Vanita Vishram has also now opened the first women's university. And that was something very, very impressive for me to know. and I was trying to read up about, the history of your university, your ashram, and I was thinking, trying to connect the people, and when I read about the stories of both the women who were, reformists, I felt, and I was trying to connect with my own history of having, studied in a place which is named after another reformist, Srimati Hansa Mehta, who was the Vice Chancellor of SNDT Women's University, as well as the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. And as you mentioned in my brief profile, that my whole education has been at the Department of Library Information Science, which was essentially located within the library premises, which is named after Srimati Hansa Mehta. So it's I feel it's full circle. I'm so honored and proud to be here today. Thank you once again for calling me here. As you know, the day you have selected is 12th August, and I was also told that the audiences are mostly non-LIS people. So I thought a little bit about the name and why this day is celebrated as Librarians Day should be discussed before I move on further to the topic of today's discussion, which has been given to me. So, Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, also known as Shriyali Ramamrita Ranganathan, is considered to be the father of library and information science. Essentially, he is of course recognized globally for this role that he has played, in giving a very strong foundation to the subject of library and information science. And you can see that there are three interesting words in the name of the discipline. We have libraries at one hand, you have information at one hand, and then you have the science word, all the three of them. So, of course, Dr. Ranganathan was essentially a mathematician by his profession, and became the first librarian of the Madras University. The major contribution that he has done to our discipline is essentially giving these 5 laws, which I have kept in front of you. I'm not going to go into too much of details about it, but they're very simple, and they essentially capture the very essence of what libraries are all about, and what we are planning, what we strive to do, even in this day and age of everything being accessible through the internet. This essentially captures the essence of library science. Of course, it was called as library science back in those days when he gave these laws, and then of course he has contributed a lot to, most of you might be familiar with going to a library and, trying to search for a book on the library, and you go to a catalog and, note down a number, and this number, of course, is essentially the backbone of the kind of work which we do in the library. Is, we have used mathematical ways of trying to organize the universe of knowledge so that you, the users, are able to find what you're looking for. That is the ultimate purpose, that the user should be able to find what they're looking for. And of course, nowadays, in this day and age when everybody is using Google, that is still very applicable. We'll be discussing that also. So, of course, I would like to basically pay my respects to this great Indian librarian and educator. And I would also like to share that in 1965, the government of India essentially also called him, giving the title of the National Research Professor in Library Science. So his contribution is quite profound, and we celebrate this day all over India as the Librarians Day. So once again, thank you all for thinking of me on such a day. For a student of library science and a teacher, it's an honor. So beginning with our, the discussion that we're talking about libraries, and it's a full. I've drawn this is a small capture. I tried to capture it that it's a circle. We have come a circle. We began with the earliest libraries. They date back to the history of writing, and not writing as the way we know it, but writing, as you can see in the photograph that I have captured, is basically those tablets which were made out of clay. यानी जो मिट्टी से बने हुए जो clay tablets थे, उस पे जब लिखा जाता था. From those days, we have moved on to different types of materials. The libraries have been, working with different types of materials so that you, the user, can essentially get whatever you're looking for. And we have now come down to the modern day tablets, or your phones, your devices through which you are accessing information. So it's been full circle for us. We have been, working with this kind of material, and we have moved on, and we are still with you all, when you are accessing your information through the internet too. So, one second, I will be basically starting with a small video, and this is a very short video which captures what a library is doing. Okay, and Do let me know if you're able to essentially hear it. There isn't much text.
Dr. Bhakti, there is no audio in this video, right?
You're not able to hear the audio?
No, no, no. Audio is not there.
Uh, okay, I guess then there is an issue. Wait, there is the audio is full. Uh, I am surprised why it is not being played. Okay, fine. We can just move on. It was a small video, but if the audio is not, if it's not audible, I'll just move further. Okay, we'll move on. So I would like to first, take a very, are you now able to hear me, Neha?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I will be beginning this I'm sorry, not able to share the video with you for some technical reason. The audio is not getting through to you. So I'll be sharing a small link in the Google chat, and I would appreciate it if all of you just take 1 minute and write down your answers to the questions and just copying this and pasting it in the chat box here, requesting all of you if you could just click on this link. Okay, click on the link and you will essentially see this on your screen. Okay, that is which is the first place you go to search for information. And there is one response already seen. I'll give you 1 minute. Please do this exercise. Just type the answer, like, 1 word, 2 words, or whatever. Neha, you were able to do this, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm not seeing the answers here, so I'm just wondering if people are able to do this or not. And I think you can see my screen also, right?
Yes, your screen is visible. And let me just check it out if your students
Because
are
your
getting.
answer is visible here.
Yes.
I've tested it on my phone. It should be done. Just 1 word, where do you go to search for information? You can just write 1 word, 2 words, whatever you think, whatever comes
Yeah,
to your mind.
yeah, many students from the class, they have already responded on this link.
But I'm not seeing it. Okay, let's see. What is the question that they are seeing? Some of them are responding on the chat.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of them are saying Wikipedia. I'm seeing the responses now. You can see on my screen. We are looking at Google, Wikipedia, Internet, public library. Oh, the library word is still there. Thank God. Okay, so there's still the library. But yes, yes, we all do, even personally. We all now, the first stop for most of us, actually, when we look for information, has become the internet. Okay, and in this basically environment is where we all are, we as librarians are essentially trying to be there with you. And there it brings me back to a statement which has been given by a very famous author, children's author, who writes that Google can bring you back 1 lakh answers. A librarian can bring you back the right one. Okay, so you may get that 0.001 second में इतना सारा information आ गया, but after the third or fourth link, you might not even find that the information is that very relevant. Okay, so that's a small factoring. Now, this, of course, change also reflects when everybody said, Wikipedia, Google, and this kind of, or the internet. Somewhere, these, in the last few years, the way people search for information because they are all using through it, the internet, has been influenced strongly by two major, sites. Basically, one is Amazon, as we are all familiar with, and the other one is Google. So we call it as the Amazongal effect. And what is this effect? In Amazon, what has happened is people have now, when you try to search or shop for something, it is a shopping experience, but that shopping experience ultimately starts with trying to search for a product or search for information about a product. And many of the users, they like to use all those different filters. I'm looking for a dupatta, then I will say, okay, I want to buy, this is my price range, this is my material choice, this is my brand choice. Those kinds of options are given, and this has also changed the way people search for information when they want some. They want to have specific filters. I'm looking for a specific article, or I'm looking for a specific book by an author in a certain language. It should be available from a particular year. So these are expectations which we were already fulfilling traditionally, but now the pressure is a lot more on libraries to provide this kind of information. And Google, of course, has changed the way you search for information. Google is giving you information which is very fast, very fast. And that has been the major USP of Google, that is providing you with information which is very fast. And we as librarians have started using Google, and the user experience of providing you accurate and fast information. But giving you accurate information is something where even we feel that we are better at it than Google. And that is one of the core issues when we are talking about how you are searching for information. And you as users should also think about it, that when you are actually looking for information on Wikipedia, as some of you said, do you really go and check out कि कितना information सही है और गलत है? किसी ने भी पता नहीं शायद पढ़ा होगा या नहीं, लेकिन विकिपीडिया में बॉटम ऑफ द पेज में ऐसा लिखते हैं, they will write something which is called as a disclaimer. मैंने अभी स्क्रीन में डाला नहीं है, normally I always put it. They will say that take this information at your risk. It is something like park at your own risk. आप अपना vehicle, you are parking at your own risk. So Wikipedia on every page writes this at the bottom under the heading called as disclaimer. Disclaimer में वो यही लिखते हैं that you can use this information at your risk. Now you will never find this in a library. Library will never tell you कि ये किताब आप अगर issue करके जा रहे हैं तो this is you're reading it at your risk. We never do that. Okay, we are basically doing that exercise for you. We are using a lot of criteria for selecting the right material for you. Just to give you a brief overview about the library scenario in India, we have so many libraries. Currently India has more than 1.5 million types of library, different types of libraries here, and this is a dynamic figure, keeps on changing. Okay, and this has been prepared by one of the major library associations in the world. And as you can see on the screen, there are different types of libraries here. You have national, academic, public libraries, community, school, and other libraries. You all are students of an academic institution, so you are all, of course, used to using an academic library. An academic library has its own very special, it always basically functions according to the vision and mission of the institution in which it is, the parent institution जिसमें वो located है. So ये हमारा एक current scenario है कि इंडिया में इतने सारे libraries है, and yes, we still have a long way to go given our population, So just a small picture to you. Now let's move on to the core issue, that is about the role of libraries, which I'm supposed to talk about. And especially, I thought let's talk about it from the perspective of the current pandemic environment. So if you look at the timeline of this COVID-19 and education, basically it was in 16th March 2020 that, the closure for schools and colleges, the directive came to all the government schools and colleges to close it down. Okay? And basically some institutions immediately within a week, if they were in a position, उन्होंने online start कर दिया. काफी सारों ने April से शुरू किया, taking virtual classes, virtual examination. Then of course we gradually went through different lockdown phases. Okay, and NLI, that is the National Library of India, that also of course basically shut down and reopened only on 23rd November 2020. Then, of course, in 2021, we started living with this new normal. We thought this is like going to be with us for a long time. And unfortunately, then we got hit by the second wave. And I was just talking to these organizers that how, like we at our Central University of Gujarat, we also lost a few students during the second wave. So it's been a very, very disturbing year. And the second wave also lasted for a slightly longer period. And now, of course, we are once again the government directives have come, the opening of schools and colleges in a blended mode. So in this kind of an environment, what about the libraries? Because institutions closed down, so naturally the libraries closed down. But all the education went completely digital, and that's where we also tried to go. We tried to go completely digital. And this going digital, of course, brought out some major issues which we have experienced and which the librarians have, I have to give full credits. They have tried so hard to kind of overcome that. And it has also brought to the forefront what is very strictly in our country called as the digital divide. You have those who are able to access things digitally, and those a lot of students, or lot a huge big chunk of population who are not able to access this electronic content, digital content, which the library is trying to make reach to them. And some of the reasons which I found were, and from my own experience, was a lack of ICT infrastructure. When we say ICT is, like software, hardware, काफी चीजें matter हुई, and many of you would have experienced also a lot of this. Many of the students have been trying to access everything through their phones. The mobile phone has become the one powerful device. Many of the websites had to be reconfigured and designed so that you could open it through your Android phones. Internet connectivity is a major problem for many of us, for accessing it. And this, of course, is something which is still a huge barrier when it comes to bringing it to you. Economic disparity has also come into the forefront. Not everybody has those smartphones, or smartphones of those capacities, which can actually, or devices which can help you in, see, for courses which are very theoretical, it can still work, but for those technical courses which have a requirement of, like practical components, it's very difficult to do it through your phones. Again, it also another barrier which has come is to computer literacy. How much literate are you to basically handle all this over your phone? And also, we have a population density problem. It's not possible for all of us. If everybody is going to be logged in at the same time, you will see this, the circle which keeps on going round and round, streaming all the time. So these are some of the issues which have come to the forefront. But in spite of this, we have libraries have been in the news. So I've just captured a few. These are from just a few days ago, where if you look at the headlines, this is like Jammu Kashmir public libraries are moving to digital era, or Andhra Pradesh is setting up 4,530 digital libraries. Tamil Nadu is reopening public libraries, so that students can prepare for competitive exams, or Gram Panchayat libraries in Calcutta being turned into digital classrooms. You can see the code word everywhere is digital and electronic. Everybody is going digital and electronic, and that is where it's going to be the new normal for us libraries. Some more of these, news items. 100 state-of-the-art libraries are going to be opened in Bathinda also very shortly. The national education policy जो अभी नया आया है हमारे लिए, वो भी emphasize कर रहा है digital learning को लेके. So digital learning जो ये पूरा है, उसमें the digital library is going to play a very critical role. I will be talking about some of the resources which are available to all of you, and I have also seen your website, and I find that Shivanga is doing a pretty good job of bringing these resources to you. Another news item, you can see that the National Library of India, they have also uploaded many books on Indian culture on the web, made it freely available. And of course, the National Digital Library of India is also has gone all out to help students at every level, higher education, secondary, primary education. A lot of content has been made available. So you can see that these are all essentially from a few months, few days ago to a year ago. This is, libraries are in the news every few days and every few months of what is happening in the country. So if you look at the kind of role which we have in education, libraries are synonymous with education, and there is a lot of research which says that the more you use the library, the more the content is those students who are going to be active users of the library, or who are actively reading material directly, that linkage has been shown to the academic success. Okay, that is, there is enough data from all parts of which are showing that library usage and आपका जो academic performance है वो directly connected है, directly linked है. You will do better, you'll be doing better in your exams, you will be performing better in your job interviews, you will be better placed in your life if you are going to be an active library user, or a person who is reading extensively. Okay. So this, of course, is something which is again the library usage, of course, because I'm talking about educational libraries, the resources, of course, are at your disposal. You have to use them, and I wanted to share one story about this. And this is a story about a boy from Africa, and this has become a major. It's an impact of what a small library can also do. And so this person, William Kamkawamba, is from Malawi, Africa, and the country where he lived in and जिस village में वो रहते थे वहाँ पे काफी बुरी तरह से the drought came, दुकाळ आया, there was a drought and he had to stop going, मतलब स्कूल बंद हो गया, स्कूल में नहीं जा पाए क्योंकि they did not have the money to pay for the school. And ultimately he still wanted to study. So what he did was कि वहाँ पे जो छोटा सा library था उनके गांव में, he used to frequently go there. And वहीं पे उनको एक किताब मिला, just one book he read over there, and it was called as Using Energy. And उस book से inspire होके this boy essentially created a turbine, a wind turbine. And ये इतना एक बड़ा story हो गया that this wind turbine जो उन्होंने अपने घर के लिए बनाया था from household items, यानी library से उन्होंने किताब लिया, got very inspired by what he read in the book. Then he prepared a wind turbine using all the different things which were there in his home, and gradually the whole village, he prepared wind turbines for his whole village. और ये जो इनका जो story था वो it came out that he was able to they were able to pump water into their farms by using these wind turbines, and ये इतना एक major movement हो गया वहाँ पे. And he's just 33 years old right now, very young person. And then of course he started, because of the visibility जो इनको मिला, and he got scholarships to study further. He was able to then go and study in one of the topmost colleges in the USA. From the journey which started from a small library in his village, finally reached the level ki inka kitab, he wrote a book about his experience about the boy who harnessed the wind. And this story, I mean, this book also became very famous, and it has now been converted into a movie also. So this is, I'm just showing you the impact the library can have, the right kind of books in a library can have, and how it can play a role in the education of a person, right? So I thought I would share this village, and this, William Kamkawamba has become one of the brand ambassadors for many libraries for the kind of work he did, So of course, coming to the library, and I told you there are so many different types of sources which a library keeps, and you are all, I believe that most of the audience are undergraduate students here, and I was told that mostly it's commerce and also management. So of course, you are not very familiar with the typical kind of collection which a library will have. You have a lot of books, you have a lot of articles. Some libraries also keep newspapers, but I have highlighted the internet because the responses which you gave me also told me that most of you are nowadays going to the internet to search for a lot of information. And please remember that the internet is where even your library is actually becoming the facilitator. Through their website, they are bringing a lot of material which is there on the internet. They are filtering the content and making them available for you. So that is something which even I noticed on your website, where Shivangai has curated some content and make them available to you. So internet has become like a huge storehouse. There is so much of content out there, but the biggest problem is, how do you know what is correct and what is not correct? What is accurate and what is not accurate? Some of the initiatives, because there are so many different sources, over there you have electronic content in the form of books, articles, newspapers. We had, basically tried to do a small, a presentation in between about, YouTube content. There's a lot of content just which the government of India initiatives they have prepared at both, essentially your PG level as well as the UG level. And these are some of the initiatives which are already there. You have EPG Pathshala, which I have seen is already there on your website. You have, the NPTEL, if for most of those technology institutions, they have NPTEL videos, which are again, government sponsored. So the Ministry of Education, of course, and UGC, as well as, at the school level, you have the NCERT and the National Institute of Open Schooling. These are just a few examples that I'm giving where there's so much of content available, which is available, on YouTube, but also not only through YouTube, but also websites, and as we call them as also MOOCs, massive open learning, these courses which are there, and through these NEP, ये जो नया national education policy है, more and more students are encouraged. You can go to Swayam, you can take up a lot of courses, and simultaneously आप अपना जो अभी पढ़ाई कर रहे हो इसके साथ साथ you can take up multiple other courses, and more and more I think universities and colleges will gradually, ये नया है, maybe in the next 5 years आपके जो credits आप यहाँ से earn कर रहे हैं वो वहाँ से भी आप कर पाओगे. That is going to be happening. So these are some of the initiatives which the government of India has done for higher education learning, and also not only higher education but also primary and secondary level of education. And you can actually use these resources. Some of the over and above, above your own library, you can actually explore this further. That is, because you are accessing the internet, I feel that the world's best libraries are also at your fingertips. All you have to do is just try to use not only your library catalog, but you can use the libraries which are located all over the world. That is the best part now. This internet has provided you. That is. Most of the libraries are making their catalogs available to you. Okay, some of them are making a lot of content freely available to you. So the first option is that you essentially use your own library, or the second option is you use the library packs which are offered by other libraries. And the second is, of course, there are so many digital libraries which are coming up. I will just take you on a small journey of some of these. These are open. This is the National Library of India. They have a lot of free content here. Lots and lots of open educational resources. यहाँ पे अगर आप click करेंगे, you just select commerce, you select management, and you will find countless resources. इनके links दिए हैं which you can use. You can see they have a digital collection also. So all you have to do is a free membership है. You have to register, of course. It's free. You don't have to pay money for this, but you can become member and access information if you're a student here. So this is, of course, our National Library of India, their website, which is under the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. I'm showing you on the screen. What you see is the OPAC or the catalog, search window of the one of the biggest libraries in the world, which is called as the Library of Congress. This is the library located in America, but a lot of content is available here. You can see the list of materials available. Audio recording hai. Not everything will be available to us, of course, because we are remotely located. But yes, you can definitely, the whole catalog is available to you. And inka jitna bhi digital content hai, they have made a lot of that freely available. Newspapers are there, you can write to them and you can get it. There are lots and lots of maps freely available. Purane manuscripts bhi available hai, software available hai, films, videos, audio files, lot of free content. Similarly, ye jo abhi, what you're seeing on your screen is the catalog which is prepared for the digital library, but for the National Library of Australia. Okay, again, there's a lot of content here. आप अपने subject wise search कर सकते हैं, and you will be able to get, as again I've expanded this. You can get newspapers, magazines, newsletters. Of course, because this is a national library, typically will give you material about that country, but they don't limit themselves only to that. You will find a lot of content, because this is also Commonwealth country. आपको बहुत कुछ content India का भी यहाँ से मिलता है. So whenever you get assignments or आपको projects दिए जाते हैं, you can explore these different kinds of websites, and not limit yourselves only searching through just Google and leave it at that. Okay, you could basically take the initiative, be more proactive, and go through these different websites also. So this basically TRUV is the name of the digital library, which has been created by the National Library of Australia. And you can see they are giving you research reports in photographs, diaries, music, audio, video, lots and lots of information here, everything digital. Similarly, British Library, which is the National Library of Britain, इनके भी काफी सारे हैं यहाँ पे. Of course, because of the East India connection, there is a lot of content from India here, and you can again, there is a lot of free content available on this website also. Okay. There is another, site which all of you can explore, which is, as I have already told you, the catalog is, of course, basically I'm just guessing that at your library you are using a catalog. When you use the catalog, essentially either you type the name of the author or a title and try to find information. Now, this WorldCat essentially is a catalog of all the 10,000 libraries worldwide, and this is freely available. At least it will tell you where this book is, okay, and something along these lines. And you can see it tells you books, DVDs, CDs, and articles. You can search for material. You can even find a library which is around you. And a similar exercise has also been done in India. We call it as the INDCAT. Okay, INDCAT essentially gives you इंडिया में जितनी यूनिवर्सिटीज है उनका जो लाइब्रेरी का कलेक्शन है आप सारे लाइब्रेरीज का कलेक्शन यहाँ पे देख सकते हो यू कैन सर्च फॉर अ बुक विच मे बी इन एनी पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया and it will give you, and then they have a facility where you can request for that book also, okay, with the help of your librarian. If you want, you can do that. So WorldCat and InCat are again catalogs which you can use for searching. Beyond this, if you want to go, these are the digital libraries. This is the National Digital Library of India, and as I told you that for students, they've come out with many initiatives in the last 1 year post COVID. And you can do your subject searching. आप यहाँ से कर सकते हो. Law and management, you can see my cursor is there. There is a lot of content, lots and lots of content here, and this of course can be explored by all of you. Again, this website also has content in many Indian languages, so that also you can explore further. Beyond this National Digital Library, we have the World Digital Library. ये पूरे world का library है, and digitized content जो 193 countries का है, ranging from, you can see the time span 8000 BC से लेके 2000 तक का कंटेंट अभी इसमें डाला गया है. It is still a work in progress. ये जो पूरा वेबसाइट है वो बनाया जा रहा है in collaboration with UNESCO and the Library of Congress. So this is again free. You can go here. आप जितना explore करना चाहते हो कर सकते हो. It's a very interesting website. Similarly, another initiative which has been done, it's called as the Internet Archive. This is a not-for-profit, as you can see, but it's huge because what they have done is basically right from the onset of the internet or the World Wide Web, they have tried to save the pages. जो websites हैं उनको randomly select करके उनको save करके आपको यहाँ available किया है. World की बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ी libraries, they are all here, and you can see the kind of collection they have. They have a huge collection. And they have multiple sub-initiatives which are there. And this Internet Archive, of course, as most of your undergraduate students, but as you move further, आप postgraduate भी पढ़ोगे, you'll be doing a lot of other work. I recommend that you explore this website. It's got a lot of really great information out there. Okay, and another, of course, is iBiblio. This is again, these are all sites which I'm giving you, which have a lot of free content. Okay, and most of this content has been either curated by libraries or people associated with libraries. Okay, so again, this of course has, they have mentioned 12 million to 16 million transactions are being done. It's an online public library, freely available, lots of material there. This again, of course, is a very popular site called as the OpenStax. This is only for textbooks. It has got a lot of textbooks for accounting and management and HRM and financial management, lots and lots of simple textbooks which are for undergrad students. They have been made available freely by Rice University, which is located in the US, but one can use these. It's free textbooks, as you can see written on the screen itself. Further, of course, another initiative of the Internet Archive is the Open Library. Okay. Again, here, all you have to do is just sign up for this free sign up here. You can read any book you want. You can search for a book according to your subject, or let's say you want to read stories, you can even find a lot of fiction and stories here. Okay, so this again is something which can be done. Okay, another initiative of Internet Archive. I was talking to you about this Internet Archive. What they have also done is something very interesting. They have something called as the Wayback Machine. But what has happened that many times you might come across websites which are no longer there. You will come across error 404. Yani ye website is no longer available. It may have shut down for a lot of reasons. So if you still want to access those websites, this Wayback Machine आपको वो पूरा पुराना, जैसे मैंने अभी ओपन किया है 2011, यानी 10 साल पहले ये जो वेबसाइट पर्टिकुलर पेज था वो जैसा दिखता था, I can actually open it and retrieve the content and use it. Okay. This is the amazing work which Internet Archive is doing. कि 10 साल या 20 साल या 25 years ago का एक website page if you're trying to open, you can still open it here and see the content, read the content, and basically explore it. So this archive essentially means saving it for or preserving it for the future generations. And Internet Archive is trying to preserve the whole internet for future generations. Okay, because as you all know, the internet does not belong to anybody; it belongs to everybody, and this is a initiative which has been done. So in this whole environment, you as a student, where are you? I'm just trying to I put you in the center, and you are we all of you we all know that you are searching for information which is not necessarily only through the library. You are essentially searching maybe through some social networking site. You are part of communities. You are using it through maybe Insta. A lot of you are on Insta. A lot of you are on Facebook maybe, or some of you are blogging or tweeting about things. This is where the student is. That is what we are now looking at. That the student is looking at information from a variety of these online resources, and we as librarians, are trying to become a connecting point for you. And this is where I'm trying to explore that. If you look at it, we are providing you with resources. Okay, we are providing you. We are trying to provide you, and not just as I said, I showed you the websites of so many different libraries. So you can actually go and look up a library which is not your library, but you can go and get information. So a librarian is working, trying to bring you the digital collections. They provide the catalog for you. They are doing a lot of work. Your environment, of course, as a user, is that you are essentially, maybe you're working from a laboratory, you are working from social media, you are gathering information from different places. Okay, so what we as a librarian are trying to do is connect both of these together. Your environment, okay, wherever you may be sitting in your homes, you may be sitting, going to a library physically, you may be accessing the library remotely through your phone or through your laptop or through your tablet, or you may be basically not even going to the library, but let's say you are many a times, for example, in our library's case, I can be doing a Google search. I will go to a website which is called as Google Scholar. Okay, I search for a title, and it will automatically tell me that this title is available in your library. Okay, it tells me because our librarian has then done that kind of configuration so that my Google search ultimately leads me to my library. Okay, so even if you are not going to the library directly, the library, we are trying to ensure that we bring you there. And let's say I search for an information and I'm only able to get 3-4 lines. I want to read the full text of it. So automatically it will take me to the full text of that whole book online, which is made available to me through my library. Okay, so this is the kind of environment or the role of the library that we are working it. And before I continue further, Neha, how much time do I have? Should I continue for another 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, Dr. Bhakti, surely.
Okay. So this is the environment in which the library is working currently, and basically your environment as a user and our environment with the resources that we are providing. The second role which the libraries are playing, which is a very critical role, and it's not just education. As I told you, the first role is education, but we are also playing a very important role in preserving our cultural heritage. Okay, this is the saying that I put by Mahatma Gandhi, that no culture can live if it attempts to be exclusive. You have to share whatever is with you, and this role again is interlinked with education. Interlinked with education, as more and more libraries are digitizing their content, making their content available. And please remember that libraries are not only located in your schools and colleges, they are located in temples, they are located in mosques, they are located in prisons, they are located in corporate houses, they are located in the parliament, they are located even, let's say, in the courts, the high courts. They are located in the defense organizations, they are located in the research organizations, they are located in media houses. Libraries are everywhere, and every organization has this cultural heritage which we try to preserve. So one of the other roles which the library is trying to do is essentially preserve this culture. How do we do this? Is that whatever we have as our collection, we ensure that these are made available to the future generations. Okay, and as part of the Digital India movement, which the government is currently trying to really follow it up in a very big way, many libraries, whether they are public libraries more so and other libraries, इनके पास जितनी भी पुरानी किताबें हैं या पुराने मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स है या ग्रंथ है, उनको दे आर डिजिटाइजिंग ऑल ऑफ देम, यानी उसका एक डिजिटल कॉपी बना रहे हैं ताकि यू आर एबल टू एक्सेस देम सिटिंग इन योर होम्स. And that is a major initiative which is being done, by the government as well as the libraries input. So some of these, initiatives which have been done, and again, these are resources now being made available to you. You as a user can actually explore a lot of such content which is being made available. So I'm just sharing some of that content with you right now through these screenshots. One of the very, very great initiatives which have been done by the government of India is, of course, under the tutelage of Ministry of Tourism and Culture, is this National Mission for Manuscripts. Okay, that is पूरे इंडिया में जितने भी मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स हैं, एंड मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स आर अवेलेबल इन डिफरेंट, these are handwritten, very very old textual words. They may be available on maybe पत्तों पे लिखे गए या पत्थर पे लिखे गए या क्ले टैबलेट पे लिखे गए, या they may be written on cloth or metal or different materials. This basically initiative may they have basically collected information about these manuscripts, prepared a list of them, and made it available to users from all over India. You can find out which manuscript is lying in which part of the country, उसकी क्या details है, कौन सी language में ये manuscript लिखा गया है, because these are all written in ancient languages of India. Some of them are in Sanskrit, Urdu, Persian, Prakrit. There are many, there are Ardhamati, there are so many such manuscripts available. But this is also the second purpose, is that these manuscripts, when we make them available, we expect that the users or the scholars or the researchers in the future, you might become, higher education mein aap log jaoge, you will make use of these, resources and conduct more research, because there is a lot of treasure buried in these manuscripts. Hamara jo pura ancient culture hai, there's a lot of it in these, and that is one of the major initiatives which the government has done. I do invite you to explore these websites also. Another such website, which has been created is the Asiatic Society of Mumbai, and they have also, the Asiatic Society website is, they're located in two locations. One is in Mumbai, one is in Kolkata, and both of them have these resources. इनके पास जितना भी holding था, इन्होंने इसको completely digital कर दिया है, and you are able to, access them through their websites. These are not completely free. Some of them are charging you a little bit, okay, or you have to become a member of their association to do it. But you can at least come to know what kind of material they have with them. Okay, this is a newspaper, this Mumbai Na Samachar, 200 years of Mumbai Samachar. This was written in Gujarati, and ये newspaper इसका पूरा they have got digitized text available over there. Okay. Similarly, India का जो एक archives है, that is the National Archives of India, which has everything, हमारा जितना भी important documents है country के. Okay, they are all basically now they are making them available freely. You can explore them. You can see they have given the figure 2.7 million reference media which are there with them, and out of these 787 digitized records are available for online access. You can even visit them, and this is again called as Abhilekh Patal. Again, a Government of India initiative with the collaboration of archivals. Okay, so libraries, we always work hand in hand with archives and museums also. And let me also tell you that archives, are not just limited to textual documents. You may have archives like, I think my next screen is audio-visual material. You may have जैसे दूरदर्शन है या ऑल इंडिया रेडियो है, इनके पास भी बहुत सारा ऑडियो फाइल्स है या वीडियो फाइल्स है. ये सारी चीजें, you're going to basically say that we can see on the screen, galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. I'm just talking like one of my scholars, we are working on oral archives, so some of these, states do not even have a documented history. So archives can be, stored, and you as students and future scholars can actually use them. There are many initiatives of archives which are being done, and library science students, of course, definitely do work there. This is another which I was talking to another scholar from Gujarat, and they were telling me कि जैसे ये पूरा available है गुजराती विश्वकोश, जिसको पूरा update किया जा रहा है अभी, and there's so much of content available here too, and lot of in language, and every state in India is essentially through their libraries making such available. Many of these literature departments hai unki libraries, they will link to this Gujarati Vishwakosh Trust, and their initiative. So these are just a few examples that I'm trying to give you कि कितना content है But please remember that now when I'm telling you these sites or मैं जिस तरह के resources आपको दिखा रही हूँ, आप जब normal Google search करते हो, you do not really get content from these websites unless and until you know about these websites, you will not even find them. You will be only essentially looking at that content जो आपको top 5 में दिखता है. Okay, and Google the way it works, is जितने ज्यादा लोग top link पे click करेंगे उसी को वो top में दिखाने वाला है. Doesn't matter whether how good the content is. So you're missing out on a lot of great content which is available on different websites. So of course, the moving on, and this is the last part of my this thing is the holistic development, which we are talking about, how libraries are doing this. And when we talk about holistic development, again, the national education policy is very they're stressing about an overall development. That is not just as a commerce student or as a BBA student. They're not looking for only that. The libraries actually do play a critical role in your overall development. Overall, when I say, essentially, we will look at it. So I have another, a poll for all of you. I'm just going to share the link again, and I would appreciate it if you will give your answers there. I'm putting it in the chat box. I can see some question has come. We will be taking the questions at the end, I believe. Please do, I have shared a link for another poll, and I would appreciate it if you can just answer that. Just one word or two words. Come on, quickly. It would be nice to see your responses. Okay, I'm seeing the answers. Knowledge, your own university, wonderful. Oh, somebody's writing heaven. I like that. I really like that. Then there's books. Yes, you always library. You think of books. Somebody's written ocean of information. I love the word ocean of information. A very deep ocean. Yeah, I like that too. Somebody's also written information per se. You think of a library, you think of information. A lot of people are writing knowledge and books. You can see that when many people write the same word, इसको ये जो program है इसको बड़ा कर देता है. So I'm looking at somebody's also calling it paradise, window to the world. Wow, I really love that. I love that. Yes, most of you are thinking about books and knowledge as a place where you can actually get books and knowledge. That's really interesting to know. So of course, this is what a quote that I'm sharing is without libraries, what do we have? You do not have a past and you do not have a future, which is really true. So this is when you talk about holistic development, you think about these things. You look at your emotional growth, you look at spiritual आपका development होना चाहिए, intellectual में तो libraries are definitely helping you. Physical आपका जो है that also development is to be ensured in that. Then the environmental and environment can mean a lot of things. So in my next slide I will talk to you about it. Financial implications, occupational, social, these are all aspects to make a complete overall holistic development of an individual. Now, what role can a library play here? Okay, so of course in a library, we do that because a library is all about people, tools and environment. Please remember that. People can be you and us. We both are there. We are all in this together. You as the users and we as the providers. Okay, the libraries and different library staff. And then, okay, we are using many different tools, okay, to bring all this to you. And at the same time, we also provide you with an environment. So the libraries, through their collections, I've already discussed varieties of collections that we are keeping, and we make these collections available everywhere. We are trying to make these collections available to you remotely as well as physically. We provide different kinds of services to all age groups. Doesn't matter, there are libraries which are helping people with different disabilities. Okay, for all disciplines, there are very super specialized collections available freely all over the world. Okay, and we are providing services which are embedded wherever you are. Okay, through the public libraries, a community engagement hota hai. Even through your college library, you go to the library, you meet your friends, you sit and work on assignments together. एक तरह का engagement, social आपका connection बनता है. We use different technologies, to make this possible for you. Libraries are at the forefront of using many technologies. We hold exhibitions, movie nights, and of course, we also give you the space where you can actually sit and work on it. Okay, the space can also be in terms of making an environment which is allowing you, to feel comfortable and do this. I'm just showing you some examples of the space. Like these are, where I was going at. These are public libraries, but where we had done some work with. One is in Khed Brahma, and one was in Kamat, and the librarians are there because we were doing many programs, different kinds of orientation programs. And this was also, during post demonetization. We were talking about how libraries can play a critical role. Can we play that, And this was before even COVID. So I felt that in retrospect, लग रहा है कि सही किया क्योंकि हम सिखा रहे थे लोगों को कि through the public library कि how will you use your phone for searching for information. आपके पास अगर फोन ही है तो आप कैसे सर्च करने वाले हो. The librarians also wanted to be trained. So no, this is the space we are creating. We are not saying that the library is only a space where only those who can read and write should go. It should be a place where everybody should be able to go. That is, something which I personally feel. And this is how in a holistic environment, whether it is to develop your hobbies, whether it is to develop your physical skills, whether it is to make you feel socially connected, the library can give you a holistic development. We are also essentially, you look at some of these. I was looking at, there are libraries which have been started in the trains. In the trains we have already had experiences where books on wheels Indian Railways ने शुरू किया है. Camel cart libraries है, desert villages राजस्थान में हुई है. ये MJ लाइब्रेरी का मुझे कहीं से स्नैप मिला कि इनका बुक मोबाइल पहले चलता था. फिर ये जो टॉप पिक्चर है, दैट इज अ स्मॉल लाइब्रेरी इन गोवा. एक छोटा सा लाइब्रेरी है. वेरी द यूजर्स आर लाइक इवन ड्यूरिंग द लॉकडाउन बाहर खड़े रहते थे कि कब ये शुरू होगा. दे वुड जस्ट नॉट अग्री कि ये बंद है, अभी नहीं शुरू होने वाला है. इस तरह का एक engagement है. There is a place which the library has made that the people really want to be there. And we are trying to be where you are. So that is the whole thing. Nowadays, of course, if you're online, we are also going to be online. So in this environment, of course, we have been functioning and doing activities. So in conclusion, I was just trying to show the role the library is playing in different these things, and I would like to take a few more of your minutes with the permission of Neha to talk about just two more slides about. Because you're all undergraduate students, you will be looking at postgraduate options, in future. And I thought that this is a good opportunity for me to tell you that please welcome to the world of libraries. And if you are interested, you could even opt for a course in library and information science, which is essentially a course which you can do after any discipline. आप किसी भी discipline के बात कर सकते हो, whether it is BCom or BBA. It is anything you can do after graduation. You can even do this course after post graduation. आपका BA, BSc, BCom, we have many students आजकल जो BTech के साथ भी आते हैं, B.Ed के साथ आते हैं, BCA, BBA, and commerce. Every basic discipline has a place here. You can definitely find your place here. And at the same time, if you are a master's student, you can still come here and do the library information science course. We, of course, only at CUG offer a 2-year course, okay? But there are universities which offer a 1-year bachelor course, and they also offer master's courses, and there are many different career prospects. If you do this course, you can become a library assistant. That is the beginning level, and then you can move on to becoming research associates, archivists, information scientists, digital libraries में work कर सकते हैं, school libraries में आप काम कर सकते हो. Court libraries, you can work as a data library. We have students who are working in archives. We have students who are types of government libraries, public libraries, school libraries. So you saw the number of libraries, and they are only going to be increasing, as we move forward. So there is a lot of scope for people who love to work with information, okay, and explore that world of information. I have also shared the website of ours because we will be starting with our admission process, anytime now. And many of you are welcome. You can spread the word around if anybody wants to, join us. Our university, of course, we have a crowd which is from all over India. We have essentially, students from all parts of India, right? From Nagaland to, Kerala to you mention it and we have a student. So it's a very uniquely mini India kind of an environment. And I do invite all of you to explore our websites also and look at it. And with this, I bring my presentation to an end. And I would like to take some questions now. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Bhakti Kala, for taking us on the roller coaster ride of the world of libraries. Thank you so much. I mean, the thread through which you have presented, right from the history of library to the workings of library and the contemporary issues, and putting it in the right perspective for the student was really interesting. I'm very much sure all the participants are benefited by her vast knowledge. And yes, we can take a few questions. There is already one question by Jai Shet. And if I'll just summarize it, it is more like, how to orient the student such that in limited period of time, they'll be able to utilize, or they can optimally use all the resources available in the library. How to orient first semester students?
I think this is a very good question actually, and because Shivang Bhai is also with us, I would basically also, I'm not aware if the library is doing this. Shivang Bhai, do you have an orientation program?
Yes, we have a library orientation program each year, and we are having also library week. At that time, also I and Neha ma'am also orient students regarding the library resources and everything.
So I think Jay, this is one of the ways that wherever you are located, libraries do try to have these orientation programs. फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर स्टूडेंट्स को ही ट्रेन किया जाता है कि किस तरह का मटेरियल आपकी लाइब्रेरी में है, आप किस तरह से, हाउ कैन यू सर्च फॉर दिस इंफॉर्मेशन. ऑफ कोर्स ओरिएंटेशंस नाउअडेज, बिकॉज डिपेंडिंग ऑन द टाइप ऑफ द लाइब्रेरी, जितना ज्यादा बड़ा या कॉम्प्लेक्स लाइब्रेरी होता है, ओरिएंटेशन सिर्फ एक शॉट में नहीं खत्म होता है, कई बार मल्टीपल राउंड्स ऑफ ओरिएंटेशंस वी हैव टू डू. Libraries which are very big, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे databases होते हैं, so you have to teach them. We also teach users कि अगर आप ऑनलाइन इन्फॉर्मेशन लेते हो तो how will you verify सही है या गलत है, तो उसके भी there are techniques of finding out. We teach our students कि अगर ऑनलाइन इन्फॉर्मेशन लेते हो तो which are the basically tests that you can do so that you know कि जिस वेबसाइट से इन्फॉर्मेशन ले रहे हो ये सही है गलत है. जैसे मैंने आपको विकिपीडिया का एक्सपीरियंस बताया, विकिपीडिया में कई बार टॉप में ही लिख देते हैं कि the information here is questionable, help us verify it. They do write it, but I still think that Wikipedia is doing a great job. But please remember that if you take anything from there, वो आपकी जिम्मेदारी बन जाती है that you go and verify the content. तो ये जो चीजें हैं वो ओरिएंटेशन में बता सकते हैं. लाइब्रेरी के जो स्टाफ है, they can actually have this कि physically आप कैसे resources search करने वाले हो. And nowadays, because 80% of the students or the users are going to be, first place will be the Google or going and searching. So the orientation can include which are the different types of web search engines. Not only that, please don't only use Google as a search engine, use different search engines. Okay, that can be covered in the orientation. You can also cover कि भाई free resources कहाँ पे है, कैसे है, कितने अच्छे हैं. Orientation, so ये मैं भी मानती हूँ कि एक ओरिएंटेशन में ये मुश्किल है थोड़ा करना, and it can have multiple ways of doing it. And so first semester, yes, it is the best semester to do this. I think, I hope I have been able to answer your question, Jay.
Yes, yes, rightly said, Bhakti. I mean, we need to identify authentic source of information in this.
Yeah, that is the most critical, because we are living in the times of fake information and
yes.
fake news. So we have a whole session on that. हमारे students को तो उसमें training देते हैं हम लोग कि आप identify कैसे करोगे, and that's a very very difficult task. You look at the example of WhatsApp. आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा कितना सही है गलत है, हम verify कैसे करोगे, आप forward कर देते हो message. So that is a very critical thing for any student also, because इतना कुछ, and if Wikipedia is going to be your first place जहाँ से आप information, because वो link Google में सबसे पहले भी Wikipedia आ जाता है, that is another problem, and that is the algorithm, and we have to train the users कि please first link पे click मत कीजिए, always don't इतना shortcut मत अपनाओ, थोड़ा और नीचे जाओ, go back, थोड़ा
We have one more question, Dr. Bhakti, from Bhuvneshwari Jonia. Uh, how can we make our student to read books in this digital era? They don't have interest to read. I mean, this is the kind of problem even we are facing. So, how we can inspire or encourage our students to read books?
Very, very, very difficult question. But you know what? I find that it's not just books, because I feel that students are not only getting their information from reading books, they are getting that information from many different types of information resources. We as teachers need to kind of, understand that and also accept it that no longer are students going to be only reading books, and ये भी है कि ये जो पूरा ऑनलाइन रीडिंग का जो टेम्परामेंट हो गया है इसमें कहीं हमारा एक जेनेटिक ब्रेन मैपिंग चेंज हो गया है क्योंकि व्हेन पीपल वर रीडिंग फिजिकल बुक्स यू डिड नॉट हैव हाइपरलिंक्स यू डिड नॉट क्लिक ऑन हाइपरलिंक और एक पेज से दूसरे पेज में चले गए विदाउट इवन फिनिशिंग द वन पेज सो स्टूडेंट्स का जो अटेंशन स्पैन है वो काफी अफेक्ट हो गया है ओके एंड दे आर सो यूज्ड टू जंपिंग फ्रॉम वन पेज टू द सेकंड पेज टू द थर्ड पेज and somewhere that is really affecting their whole reading behavior reading behavior. So we feel what we do हमारे यहाँ जैसे टीचिंग में हम लोग क्या करेंगे आइडेंटिफाई चैप्टर्स ओके वी एज अ टीचर वी आइडेंटिफाई चैप्टर पूरा किताब को हम बोल ही नहीं सकते आप पढ़ के आओ बट वी टेल देम दैट दिस इज द चैप्टर यू हैव टू रीड इट एंड एज अ टीचर वी देन डिजाइन स्मॉल क्विजेज आउट ऑफ इट इंसेंटिव्स रखते हैं कि भाई ये क्विज जो भी बिकॉज दोस क्विज आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी इजी जिसने पढ़ा होगा वही उसको आंसर कर पाएगा and at the same time that will not be control F करके आपको information नहीं मिलेगा control F they will keep that file open in front of them so the questions will be such that आपको सोच के आंसर देना पड़ेगा so यार टीचर का responsibility बढ़ जाता है but incentives अगर आप देंगे you praise a person and you all know you share data that how reading is really making a huge difference you show success stories I shared the story of that boy from Malawi that just reading one book and where that person has reached इस तरह के जो stories हैं वो identify करके share कर सकते हैं the library can also play a big role you can have competitions our government also did a वांचे गुजरात भी किया था encourage reading but I know that it's a challenge but I tell myself that okay ठीक है किताब नहीं पढ़ रहे लेकिन कुछ तो पढ़ रहे हैं I'm just hoping they're reading something and as long as it is not just 47 characters of a tweet or an Insta message so yeah I agree it's challenging and I feel that वो थोड़ा हमारा work बढ़ गया है librarians and teachers का how to motivate them and I think we can motivate them by using different technology tools once again to bring it to them having various competitions we also did reading के लिए हमने reading books novels और movies का एक program किया था fiction को लेके हमने किया because everybody likes reading stories I mean you can begin textbook से ज़्यादा पढ़ना शायद लोगों को stories अच्छा लगता है so if you can just connect the stories with the movies that also can work a very big way as a librarian आप उसको भी encourage कर सकते हो कि fiction reading there is nothing wrong in reading fiction and जो scholarly reading है उसको थोड़ा आप छोटे bites में make them read that one chapter one paragraph that is the only way we can move forward
That's really correct. I mean, we just don't need to restrict them to the textbooks or just the material that they are getting from their formal reading, right?
And especially because Bhuvaneshwari is asking me about literature, so I feel literature में तो बहुत ज़्यादा interesting interactive websites हो गए हैं, to make people read classics or such books. Whether it is Indian languages or English language में इतने अच्छे interactive websites हैं that you can make them read through those websites and every text के बाद exercises है for them to read and they will enjoy those exercises if you want I can share those resources later on with them
Yes, please do, Dr. Bhakti. You can share all those resources. You feel like that will be useful to all the participants, those who are taking part in this national webinar. And with this, I think we should stop today. And I would like to invite chairperson of our library committee, Mr. Shivang Mehta, to deliver vote of thanks.
Good morning, one and all. My fellow librarian friends and my students, greetings on the Librarians Day. I'll just start with our minor briefing of our own library, that is Vanita Vishram Women's College of Commerce Library. We are having more than 16,000 books, 20 magazines, 18 journals, and 5 newspapers. Moreover, there we have subscription of Enlist database by Internet Center, and all our students and staff members are registered on it. We have NDL. We are, yes, ma'am is already told about NDL National Digital Library. We are starting launching of the NDL. We are there as an institutional partner, and all our students are also registered on NDL also. And last year we have started NDL Club also. Moreover, that we have NPTEL videos, and we have one local server. We have installed a Space Digital Library over here, and 60,000 videos of different disciplines are stored offline in our local server. Apart from them, we have Caliber e-library in our library. We are using Source software. Sol OPEC is there for searching of the metadata of the book or bibliographic data of the book. And yeah, as I already told you, we are having library orientation twice in a year, every for all the students, not only for the first year, but all students of all years. And apart from that, with the initiation of Neha Madam, we have a big book review series we have started last year, and we have completed some around 21 sessions of Abhigya. Next is on 26th August. I invite you all for Abhigya session. Library orientation and library. This Abhigya session has play a vital role in increasing the usage of our library. So yeah, ma'am has already told so many things, and we will do it right now in our library. I invite all my students. You can explore anytime our library session. Now, concluding the session, I would like to thank our principal ma'am for this initiation and her support for the celebration of Library Day and for this webinar. I'd also like to thank Neha Madam because she has taken initiative ahead of me for conducting this session with more enthusiasm than even me. I'd like to thank our management, Vanita Vishram Surat, for all the support always they are doing to our library. And yeah, any proposal has been accepted by our management related to library. Thank you, our management team also. I'd like to thank my teaching and non-teaching staff of Vanita Vishram Women's College of Commerce, and especially our technical team, Mrs. Bhumi Desai and Ms. Trina Desai, for all technical help, the smoothly function of this Google Class webinar to the live streaming of on YouTube, as well as the WhatsApp group and all the messages they have framed time to time. Thank you, Ms. Trina ma'am and Bhumi ma'am. And last but not the least, thank you all the students who have joined for this session and my fellow librarians. Thank you very much. Feedback link will be shared on WhatsApp group for your certification. So you can get it within a few times. Thank you very much.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes.